What's up, everybody? Sunday, June 5th, 2022, and this is episode 363 for Sportstalk. Good to have you, and hope everybody is well on your end. What happened last night, honestly? It was the 2022 Women's College World Series, and it was the Oklahoma Sooners against the Texas Longhorns. I'll give you a hint, though. Somebody who's already won here in the situation won again last night. Nothing more. What else do we have to talk about? Nothing. Stanley Cup playoffs, Western Conference Finals. Colorado Avalanche took on the high-scoring Edmonton Oilers last night, but don't you worry, because I got all the scores. And episode 363 starts now. Chip on the shoulder. Oklahoma Sooners beat Texas Longhorns 7-2. Sooners star Jocelyn Allo quote. And I quote, pain we felt from the loss back in April is what fueled us to get the win tonight, not to mention that the bats were on fire. And the Sooners are 56-2 on the year. Let that sink in really quickly. Golfer Kevin Na has officially resigned from the PGA Tour, but will participate in the LIV Golf Series. It's the introductory series by the Saudi Arabian government, I guess. They're trying to come up with a league to rival the America's PGA. No comment on that. Los Angeles Angels lost their 10th game in a row. Superstar Mike Trout is searching, and quite frankly, he's fucking reaching and swinging way too fucking much. Amid a career worst hitless streak, he's 0 for Jordan. Yeah, 0 for 23. Including 0-4 last night as the Phillies won 7-2. The Colorado Avalanche lose center and my favorite player on their team, Nazem Kadri, the rest of the series after Edmonton Oilers and another one of my favorite players in the NHL, Evander Kane, decks him and his head and face smack the ice. Colorado wins 4-2 and take a commanding 3-0 series lead in the Western Conference Finals. Women's College World Series double elimination round. Oklahoma State Cowgirls beat the Florida Gators 2-0. And then finally, Mass State Softball Tournament. Saugus demolishes Belchertown 13-1. What an embarrassing way for a Western Mass team to go out. Speaking of that, we'll stay Western Mass sports. And here we go, the softball, the Massachusetts Softball State Tournament Division 1, round of 32. Newton North over Franklin 10-8. Doherty over Woburn 8-5. St. Paul over Needham 6-0. Division 2 now. Shepherd Hill 6, Marlboro 5, Norwood 11, Wilmington 2. Division 2, round of 32. Silver Lake 14, East Longmeadow 2. Division 3, these are all preliminary games. Saugus over Belchertown, as we talked about in the beginning, 13-1. Auburn over Boston Latin, 14-6. Fairhaven over Oakmont, 9-1. Division 4, Joseph Case over Quabbin, 19-2. Ouch. Advanced Math and Science Academy over Monument Mountain, 15-1. And yes, there's a Division 5. Narragansett over Boston International, 23-0. No bullshit. Munson over the Minutemen, 16-0. Millis over Taconic, 9-3, which was very fucking surprising. Taconic was one of the top teams in all of Western Mass. Softball. Even the baseball program's good as well. But to see them lose that one was very surprising. And that's it. We're moving on to tennis now. Division 1. This is also a state tournament. Malden over Waltham 4-1, and Durfee over Haverhill 4-1 as well. Division 2. Somerville over Whitman Hanson 5-0. Division 3. Ludlow over Groton Dunstable 3-2. That's a Western Mass victory right there. Austin Prep over Fairhaven 4-1, and Foxborough over Dighton Rehoboth 3-2. Dighton Rehoboth. That sounds like one of your ugly cousins' names from like back in the wagon days. I don't know. Division 4, Littleton over Medway 3-2. And that does it for tennis. Let's talk lacrosse now. Class B championship game, Wacona over Pope Francis 20-8. And that is it. Let's talk boys volleyball. Division 1, round of 32. Haverhill over Andover 3-0. Natick over Algonquin by the same score. And now on to Division 2. Minnetonka over Frontier 3-0. Wow. Pretty good first year for the Red Hawks volleyball program. For them to literally make it this far. Yeah, they lost, but they gotta, feel proud about that program and what they are going to be able to do next year. North Quincy over Fitchburg 3-0. Now on to baseball. We'll start with Division 1. Lexington over Lawrence 7-6. Framingham over Lynn English 8-0. Algonquin over Peabody 6-3. St. Paul over Central 4-0. Ouch. Western Mass loss. Waltham over Newton South 5-3. And Durfee over Lynn Classical 9-2. Division 2. Somerset over Northampton 9-2. Another Western Mass loss. Somerville over Masconomet 5-4. Division 3 now. Pittsfield over Wilmington, yay, 6-0. Boy, when Pittsfield's had their back against the wall this year, i.e. against Wacona, i.e. against Central, they really fucking perform. They come out and win, and then they do it here. That's awesome. North Reading over Greater Lowell 14-0. Saugus over Martha's Vineyard 6-5. And Hampshire over New Mission 10-4. It's a Western Mass victory. Division 4. South Hadley over Wareham 7-4. There's another victory for Western Mass. Savit Valley over Wacona 14-0. Ouch. Hampshire over New Mission 10-4. Division 5. Westport over Smith Academy 2-1 is the West Mass loss. Smith Volk over Turners Falls 5-2. Smith Volk is 17-2 on the year, playing spectacular lights out baseball. And Narragansett over Boston International 4-3. That's it for Western Mass Sports. Check back with us tomorrow on 364 for more updates on these MIAA tournaments. NHL, Colorado over Colorado over Edmonton 4-2. Colorado leads the series 3-0, and they're most likely going to sweep. I'd say that's how I feel. Tonight, the New York Rangers are at the Tampa Bay Lightning. 3 p.m. It's actually an afternoon game. New York Rangers lead the series 2-0, and I would love to see them take another victory here, though it's probably not likely. NBA tonight, Game 2 of the NBA Finals. We have Boston at Golden State for the final game out there, and then the series will shift at Game 3 out to Boston. I don't know. So anyway, Major League Baseball's talked at Yankees over Detroit 3-0. Doubleheader for the Cardinals and Cubs. Cubs won the first one 6-1, and the Cardinals won the second one 7-4 in 10 innings. Toronto over Minnesota 12-3. They're fucking on fire. Pittsburgh over Arizona 2-1. Baltimore over Cleveland 5-4. Texas over Seattle 3-2. Boston over Oakland Athletics 8-0. Fucking killing them. White Sox over the Rays 3-2. Kansas City 6, Houston 0. Wow, it hurts. Sucks. Trying to tell people to stop fucking with Houston. Betting wise, anyway. San Diego over Milwaukee 4-0. Miami over San Francisco 5-4. Washington 10, Cincy 8. Philly 7, LA Angels 2. LA has amid a 10-game losing streak, as we talked about at the beginning. Atlanta 6, Colorado 2 in 11 innings, and the Mets are victorious against the Dodgers 9-4. Mets are on fire. One of the best teams, top 5, I think, this year in baseball so far. That's it. NCAA softball Women's College World Series double elimination game. As we talked about at the beginning, number 1 Oklahoma beats the Texas Longhorns 7-2. And Oklahoma State beats the number 14th ranked Florida Gators 2-0. Now on to WNBA. Tonight, what do we have? At 2, I got Minnesota at New York. 3, Indy at Atlanta. Washington at Chicago for 6. Dallas at Las Vegas for 6. Los Angeles at Phoenix for 6. And Connecticut at Seattle for 6. And that's it for WNBA. Now we are on to the NFL's 32-32. The Houston Texans, who were 4-13 last year, good enough for last place in the AFC South. 2021 was a tough year for the Houston Texans, in my words. The franchise has been around now for 21 years and have no rings to show for it. Barely few playoff appearances. Sorry, a second. Some good players have played there, honestly. I.e. J.J. Watt, Mario Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Vince Wilfork, Andre Johnson, Deshaun Watson. The Texans' all-time leading wide receiver, Andre Johnson, with 169 games played, 1,012 receptions, 13,597 yards, and 64 tugs, along with a 13.4 yards per catch average. It's pretty damn good. So the ability to land big names is definitely there. Last year was the 20th anniversary. The team was led by new coach David Culley. How'd that work out? For the first time since 2010, J.J. Watt was not on the roster. as he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals on March 5th, 2021, reuniting him with former teammate DeAndre Hopkins. Fast forward this year, D-Hop is going to serve a 6-game suspension for the PED violation. Okay, I can't make this up. Yes, so DeAndre. It was also the first time since 2013 that the Texans would be without longtime head coach, former assistant in New England, Bill O'Brien, who was fired 4 games in 2020 when Houston went 0-4, and management was just fucking sick of it. In addition to all this, Deshaun Watson, who was a starter since 2017, went through legal issues and didn't play all year, was eventually traded to Cleveland, given a 6-year, $230 million contract, fully guaranteed. So where does this leave the Texans, huh? Well, last year it was between free agent quarterback Tyrod Taylor and Stanford product, the then rookie Davis Mills. Due to Tyrod's injuries and shitty play, Davis had the starting role for most of the season, finishing with 2,664 passing yards, breaking the old franchise record for most in the season by a rookie. Wow. So they sucked, but drafted well last year. Now we will see what they did this year. Fun fact, the Texans are the only team in NFL history to draft 3 hometown players in the draft, and it happened this year. We'll talk about that later. Good vibes. New head coach Lovie Smith, former Bears head coach who brought the team to the Super Bowl versus the Colts, and Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning, is a defensive mastermind, especially when it comes to the defensive backs. Cover 2 system he runs is very impressive, with the right personnel, of course. Hint, they had a very damn good draft this year. And here we start. So Derek Stingley, junior, he's a junior, corner out of LSU, first round pick, 3rd overall. Coach Smith made it crystal clear, at least to me, when he said his defense couldn't play the way that he wanted them to play without improved play at the cornerback position. Drafting Stingley, in my opinion, Sauce Gardner was the best cornerback in this draft, but Sting went here at number 3. Last year, Houston allowed the 2nd most passing yards, and were 29th in yards allowed per attempt with 8.3, which is pretty much a first down every throw. Every completion, anyway. A porous secondary that improved immediately with this pick. He has all the tools to be a great lockdown corner. Can play well in zone too, don't get me wrong. But there are some red flags, big ones. Injuries. After a sensational freshman year in 2019, Derek hasn't played more than 10 games in the past 2 seasons. He played in just 3 games after he needed surgery on a season-ending foot injury, if you remember that. In September, he did no drills at the Combine, but he did participate in LSU's Pro Day, and when asked about the injury after being drafted, he says it feels good for right about now. Confident, I guess. He missed 3 games in 2020 due to non-COVID illness, 2 to an ankle sprain, 1 was to the illness. To me, he brings lockdown abilities he once consistently showed to a secondary with the likes of Steve Nelson, Lonnie Johnson Jr., and Desmond King II, who are looking for help and can be found in his... they're looking for help, and this can be found in his relatively low 35% completion percentage allowed is only second to Ahmad Sauce Gardner's. I think his is like, what was it's like 22. That's ridiculous. And you know, Sauce Gardner didn't give a touchdown up his entire collegiate career. Anyway, this is based among 85 defenders with 100 plays or more targeted to them. So that's kind of like how I broke that down. Anyway, yes, that if that foot doesn't, bother him through training camp, I see Stingley getting some reps on day 1, most definitely. Next, they drafted Kenyon Green, offensive guard out of Texas A&M, first round, 15th overall, hometown pick number 1. One of the better overall linemen in this class, in Ra's opinion. They were lucky enough to get him here at 15. I didn't think anything after that, and Kenyon Green would have been gone. At least 20 before the Steelers pick. Obviously, you need to upgrade the protection around quarterback Davis Mills if he's going to be your guy. And they did so with this pick, but it still remains to me, at least unseen, where along the offensive line he'll play. Listen to this. Last year he had at least 75 snaps at right tackle, right guard, left tackle. He is versatility in human form. Green will play as he is super versatile and can play any position. But if they put him inside immediately, I think that means Titus Howard, who played guard in 2021, can move back to his original position, right tackle, alongside former Miami Dolphin Laramie Gas Mask Tutzel, who's over there on the left side, who's just a fucking anchor. A little bit inconsistent, though. So their third pick, they took Jalen Petrie, safety out of Baylor, second round, 37th overall. Surprised I was that he didn't go in the first round. Top 10 safeties list. I had him as the third best safety. GM Caserio is addressing last year's issue in the secondary, and it's evident with this pick again. Petrie will be a star one day. He's listed as a safety, but last year he played extensively in the slot, as compared to a traditional deep safety in college. He played 657 snaps in this specific position, the most in the NCAA last year. And if you want to consider him a hybrid kind of safety corner. Houston moved Desmond King from the slot last year because of his lack of speed and, let's just put it this way, football IQ. So I predict that that's where he will start his career at this year. It's what he did in college very well. But they did let their best defensive player and safety, Justin Reed, go in free agency to the Kansas City Chiefs. So it will be interesting to see the role that Jalen Petrie has with this football team. John Mechie III, wideout out of Alabama, is the fourth pick by the Texans, second round, 44th overall. They took the first step in helping quarterback Davis Mills out by grabbing Mechie with this pick. I feel like it was a bit of a reach due to Mechie's disgusting ACL tear that he suffered in the SEC championship way back. Even though he says he'll be ready for football without training wheels in July, which is only a few weeks away, it's kind of, I'd be worrisome if I was a Texans fan. Houston only had 79 catches by slot wideouts last year, which ranked 28th. And Mechie had 96 grabs for 1,142 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. Just killing it in the slot. And he is the Band-Aid that's going over that proverbial, scar or whatever, or scrape. And I think as long as he can come back at least 65% from what he was before the knee injury, then I think that's all right. And it's good for 70, 80 catches, 850, 60 yards, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns. Whatever average you want to throw in there. Christian Harris, they go Alabama again. He's a linebacker, third round, 35th overall. I thought he was the softest linebacker last year, and maybe that's, how it is coming off of an injury. He looked very passive, especially against the run, and that kind of worried me. But in 15 games, he somehow amassed 80 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and another 11.5 tackles for loss. I like his game, but let's hope he doesn't lack that explosiveness when he gets on the field for those Texans. Dameon Pierce, halfback out of Florida, 4th round, 107th overall. Day 3 of the draft, and the halfback issue was addressed. Because it wasn't really, in my opinion, even with the free agent signing of former Colt Marlon Mack. This is one of my sleepers here in the draft, Dameon Pierce. Houston only had 23 runs of 10 yards or more last year. That's fucking crazy. Which is the second fewest ever by an NFL franchise in the last 20 years. Enter Florida's Dameon Pierce. This guy is also great in the passing game as well, and his 16 touchdowns from scrimmage were the most since Percy Harvin's 17, way back in 2008. Here they take defensive tackle Thomas Booker from Stanford, 5th round, 150th overall. Tegan Quitoriano, tight end for Oregon State, 5th round, 170th. And their final pick of the 2022 NFL Draft was Austin Deculus, offensive lineman out of LSU, 6th round, 205th overall. I like to see those LSU linemen. 4 of them went in this draft, just alone. And that concludes my evaluation on the Texans 2022 rookie class. Please, let me know what you guys think. comment section of this video. And this concludes episode 363. We're sitting with 48 subscribers on YouTube. I'm gonna have to really promote our channel. I got an idea that I'm gonna announce later in the week. I love y'all. I wish y'all nothing but health and wealth. Success comes equally with both of those. Have a good one.